Churches are no longer just using website for information. They are using them to manage members, attendance, sermons, donations, events, and communication. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how you could create a powerful church website like this just using WordPress. You can see how beautiful this is. So I'm going to walk you through the process of how we created this powerful website where the church can take attendance, upload sermons, take donations, and a whole lot more, right? So let's just get started. Now, for you to create, now remember one thing, you don't need no level of coding, you don't need to know how to code, you don't need any programming language. We're going to be using WordPress to build this in a step-by-step and everything I'm going to show you, right? The first thing we need to do is that we need to get two things: hosting and a domain. Now, this is really important for anytime you want to create any site. So if you already have this, you could move this video to the next part. But if you don't have, I will always recommend that you go with Hostinger. Now, with Hostinger, if you use my referral link that I have below, you will get a 20% off discount. You will also go ahead to not just get that, you get one free domain, and I will help you install the WordPress for free if you want that. I'll also keep a video in the description showing you how you can install WordPress. The second one is Namecheap. Now, I don't have referral with Namecheap, but I use them for most of my videos because they make use of cPanel. Now, if you want to follow this video step by step, you could go with Hosting. I help you install it, you follow the video, or you go with Namecheap and you run it all through yourself. But whichever way, you will be able to build this at the end of this video, and it is easy and anybody can do that. So at this point, I advise to follow, like, and share. Subscribe, click the subscribe button if you haven't. I'm actually outside, so I probably will get some noise at some point, so just bear with me. So let's go into building this. So if you don't know how to get your hosting and your domain, I'll put a link in the description below. Just follow the video, watch it, and to show you how to get your hosting and domain using Hostinger or Namecheap. But if you want me to help you get it, I'll also put my contact below to reach out to me. So for this, what we want to do is we need to go to cPanel, right? So I'm going to be using cPanel to do this. So I'll just go to cPanel. Now, you could use every other hosting. If you want to follow this video, you could use any other hosting that makes use of cPanel, or any hosting that helps you to install WordPress. Which is just WordPress you want to go with, you can leave cPanel. Now, for this, I'm going to be installing WordPress on Namecheap using cPanel. So I'll go to the Substaculous app installer here. Then I'm going to come to this icon for WordPress. Now, what we want to do is click on install. Now, I've created multiple videos where I showed you how to install WordPress, so I'm just going to go fast to do this. Now, you want to pick your domain that you're going to be using. Then you want to make sure to give it a name. So I'm going to give it the name of my church, which is Trem. Then I'll scroll down and click on install here. Now, this will take you some couple of minutes. It could be very fast if your internet is way faster. And let's see. All right, so we've installed WordPress successfully. So I want you to just come here. You're going to see this. So it'll take you to your admin rights. Now, remember to save the password if you haven't saved it, but you can always log in from your cPanel into WordPress. Now, if you're using Namecheap, you'll get this Namecheap AI website designer that AI can help you create your website, but we're not doing that. If you're not using Namecheap, you will not get this, so don't worry about it. So just head over to your WP admin dashboard, which is your WordPress dashboard. Now, we'll do a really quick crash course on everything you need to know about WordPress quickly, like I always do in my videos. The first thing you want to know is this is the WordPress dashboard. Yeah, I love to leave this my WordPress dashboard clean, so I'll come to the screen. Then I'm going to be removing all of this, and I'm going to only leave one thing. And what I'm going to leave is my WordPress site title because I want to know how that is. The next thing I will do is to just take you on the crash course. So the first thing is this is your dashboard and you're going to see all the information here. The next part is your post. Post is where you're going to be creating new blog posts. You're going to be adding your blog posts. You're going to see all your posts that has to do with blog, which is your news. The next is media. Here you're going to find your image, your videos, and every document you have uploaded on your WordPress site. But this is what I say most of the time: do not upload long videos on your WordPress website or videos entirely. What you want to do is upload that video on YouTube, bring the link, and put it on WordPress. You'll see that as we go further, but do not do that because your WordPress site will be extremely slow and your hosting providers will not like it. The next thing is pages. This is where you're going to be having and creating pages like your homepage, your about us, and the rest. Now, when people see a blog and they comment on the blog, this is where you're going to find all the comments. The next is appearance. Now, the appearance is what I call the appearance give your site the look it has, the feel, the skeleton, the structure of your WordPress site. For me to show you this, you need to come to this my WordPress. Don't click on it, right click and open in a new tab. Once you open it in a new tab, this is what people will see when they come to your WordPress. Now the reason this is looking like this is because of our theme. Now once we upload the theme we're going to be using, you will notice this will change, right? So your appearance gives your WordPress site the look and the feel. It's the structure of your WordPress site. The next thing we have is plugins. Now plugins are external tools that help you increase the functionality of what your WordPress site can do. Basically the WordPress site at this point cannot do so much, but once we start installing plugins, you see that the functionality of what our site can do begins to expand. Like if you add a live chat, or if you add a WhatsApp button, or you have a page builder, all of these will help you increase what WordPress can do. In a simple way that I explain it is, when you buy a new phone, your phone is not able to do Facebook, TikTok, and any other social media platform. You have to install those apps. So those apps helps you increase the functionality of what your phone can do. The same way with WordPress, right? So there are third-party softwares that help you do that. User is where you're going to find all your users on your WordPress site. So we have tools and we have settings. So the first thing we want to do is to come to our settings here, and on those settings we're going to be making some basic changes. Now we have the site title here. You're going to call it the name of the church you're building. So I'm going to call it Trem Gikoi. Then the tagline is like the motto, so I'm going to call it power in the word. Then you want to put your church icon, but I'm going to leave this for now. Yeah, you want to put your email, right? Then you want to say anyone can register. Then when you scroll down, you click on save changes. This is very important. Now after we do that, we are going to take one more look. So we come to plugins. Now most times once you install WordPress plugins, once you install WordPress, some plugins will come pre-installed for you, so you can see them, right? Now Namecheap install certain plugins that are really important for international standard, which is the cookies, and we have your Google Analytics and a few others. So I'm going to delete what I don't need. So we're going to be checking this, and we're going to not this this. We're going to leave the cookies. Is really important. So what we'll do is we'll come back here and click on deactivate, then we'll apply. Now once we do that, I want you to just check this and click on select on that bulk action. You're going to select delete and apply as well. All right, all of this is perfectly done. Now we go into building our site. The first thing we want to do is to come to appearance, and we're going to be installing the theme we'll need for this. All right, so appearance, themes. Then you see the current theme that we have here. So normally WordPress comes with 3 themes every year. So 2025, 2024, and 2023, right? By next year we'll have 2026, and 2023 will be out. So this is it. So the next thing you want to do is click on add theme here, and we're going to be adding a premium theme. Now once you click on add theme, you will notice a lot of themes will upload, but a lot of themes will show up. This is WordPress themes library. WordPress have thousands and thousands of themes. Now they are free. If you want to use, you can just search for the name of the theme here that you want to use, or you want to just search for the theme like a news, a blog, whatever. Now we're going to be using a premium theme, so click on upload. We're going to choose file here. Then we're going to be using this theme. I'm going to click on install. So the reason I'm going fast is so that we could do this fast and give you results, and you can build this website in no time. So I would also tell you at this point again, please, first of all, congratulations that you've installed WordPress. I forget to say that it's a milestone, especially if this is your first time building a website on your own. This is really good. Pat yourself on the back, get a cup of coffee, or drink whatever you need to drink, and yeah. So at this point, let's wait for this to install. I'm going to speed up this process to save time. All right, so the theme has been installed. What we want to do is click on activate here. Now once we activate our theme and we come to the front end of the site and refresh, you notice immediately it changes. The outlook changes, the structure changes, which is fine. So we have like a sidebar here, we have like the hello world, so you don't have to worry. So come back here and it will give you instruction to install certain plugins. So we're going to click on install. Then I want you to check this at the top, then bulk action, click on install and click on apply. Now it will start installing the total of 10 plugins, so you just have to have patience and we'll boost this up. All right, so all our plugins are installed. What you want to do is click on return to plugins, then check this and come back here and click on activate, then apply. All right, so I want you to click on return to dashboard. Now you get this installation wizard for your give, which helps for donation. You can want to click on startup. Are you using an organization, whatever? So I'll use individual, And is it for fundraiser? What is the giving about? So I put religious, then continue. Then you choose your state. So I'm just going to put United States, province. You're going to put, and I'm just going to put in random stuff. Yeah, then continue. Now you're going to see what's your donation goal. Is it offline donation? Terms and condition. So I'm just use donation goal. You could select everything, right? Anonymous donation as well. So continue. Then congratulations. Check out your first donation form. So this is like a donation form and everything. So you could just click on continue. What else do you need to support your case? Recurring donation, free recovery, PDF. I'm just going to continue. Right, but I don't want to do more on this. Then you have to connect each of the payment method, right? You could go with Stripe or PayPal, and you could look at a few things here, but this is not our focus. Our focus is building the site as fast as possible. So the first thing I want you to do is to come to appearance here. Then under appearance, you're going to see this called import demo data. So what we're going to do, it's going to help us import everything. So we don't need to take our time to start thinking about designing and everything. So you want to click on import demo data here. So if you get this access to this team, you know you have gotten a whole lot. So it recommends you to import with all of this, but I would not recommend all of this. It's just extra plugins that will slow down your site. So I'm just going to click on continue and import. So this may take some time, so we're going to speed up this process. So just wait, have patience, and we'll see you at the end. All right, so our theme has been our demo content is ready. So we're going to click on the visit site. Let me just do it easy so you can see. So this is current site, right? So we're just going to refresh this right now, and here you go. You can see this is a loading. I'm going to show you how to change this to your church name and see how everything goes. All right, now this is how the site looks currently. I'm going to show you how to make all of this come alive, so you get all right. So first of all, let's start with the technical aspect of this site. Now, we've not gotten deep into it, so just be patient. So the first thing first is that we've done this, and now I want you to come here. You're going to see the heading here. You're going to see WP Give. We've gone through this. This is where you're going to be adding sermons and just a few other things. Here, we're going to be making a few changes, right? So before I show you how you can edit all the pages, let's make those changes. So first of all, I want you to come to here, church. Now you're going to start with general. You're going to give so that loading thing, this is where you're going to change it. So we're going to change it to trim. And that's my church name. Then you could give it a color if you want that. So once you do this, click on save changes here. The next is you can set topography, right? That's fonts, the name of the font you want to use. So I'm just going to leave the fonts like that. But if you have like a specific font for it that your church or the brand use for their branding, right, you could go with that. Then theme color, if you have a color also, you could also give this. Then we have like the header, the footer. Just leave this the way it is. I'm going to show you the best way to edit that. Then here is where you're going to be changing the church logo, right? I don't really have any church logo that's flat, so I'm just going to leave this. So what you want to do is normally click on upload here. You are going to come to file and click on select. Now this will take you to your system where you could choose the file, right? Now once you upload a logo, it will always be here, so you want to find it here, right, in the list of images. But because I don't have, so I'm just going to maintain the one we have. Now I want another thing to make sure, don't upload images that are not in KB, right? That's kilobytes. Don't upload MB. Don't upload 1 MB, 2 MB. It will slow down your site. So make sure you compress the images to like 10 KB, 50 KB, 200, 300, 500, and the likes. Now that being said, make sure that your logo is in this form, right? So another thing is you have to get the exact size so that your site comes out the way. So what you want to do is you could look for the logo they made use of and check out the size of that logo. Let me try to just load up more pages here, more of this media. All right, so this is the logo they made use of. Look at the size. So in case you're doing yours, you could get a 162 by 44 pixel. So use that to create your logo, or if whoever is creating your logo, just give him this size so you get exactly something like this. Now once you've done that, remember to save changes. Then we have header 2. So you could do that with like different header. You get header 3, but you can just maintain for header. The same with the footer. Now, just so you know what we mean by header and footer. So if you're new, so this menu stuff you find at the top is called a header. Once you change the logo I talked about, this is what's going to change. Then the footer is like the opposite. This is the footer, right? Then we have your blog settings. You are not going to be doing much in this part. I showed you the major thing you want to change, which is on the general, add your church name here. Then that's all you want to do. So sorry, I made a mistake. I added C, just one C for trim. So we're going to click on save changes. All right, so once we do this, the next thing you want to do, right, the next thing you want to do, which is very, 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 very important, is let me show you how you can edit all of this at the front, right? Then you also notice that normally this is supposed to start at this point, but we have an extra view in here. So this home one, we're going to close it. So what we are using to edit all of this is called Elementor. Elementor is a page builder. It helps you build and edit a page. It's drag and drop. You find it that's very easy. What we want to do is to come here and click on edit with Elementor. Now sometimes this may take some time, so you just have to have patience and give it time to load, right? All right, so now let me show you quickly how this works, right? So first of all, we have this. If you click on any of this, you will notice on this side, this is where you can edit it. A Christ-centered fellowship. You can just change it to what you want, right? As long as once you just put your icon and it gives you a box for you to change it and all, right? Then now you have this, you have style. Your style is where you can change things like the typography, like the font, right? You could change the font, you could change the font size, you could change the thickness of the font, how thick it is. You could use style to go if you want it to be in italics, in normal. You could use transform if you want it to be uppercase, lowercase, which is capital letter, small letter, mix of capital letter and small letter, all of this stuff. So that is that. It's really easy to edit, right? So if I take this, you can see that here we have 1 2 3 4 sections here. 1 2 3 4. If you open each of them, you can see the image and you can see the link, all right, that is attached to it. So if you click on it, it will take you to that page or whatever, right? So let me show you how you use links. So I'm going to come back to this place and just open this in a new tab, right? This is very easy. If you watch this video, honestly, it's really easy. Let's say this is choir, okay, this is choir music and ministry. Let's say there's a page you want them to go to. So now you notice the name has changed, right? So let's say I want to take them to this about us page, for example, right? So once I do that, you see the about us page will open. I will just copy this link, right, and come back here. You see where they put link button, right? I want to change it. Now, if you don't change all of this link, if people click it, it will be taking them to a demo, right? So if you don't want to even put a link, you just want it to be information based, what you just have to do is to delete this and just leave it empty. And that's all, right? You could just do that for everything. If you don't want this to take them anywhere, right? For things like birthing, when you say like learn more, this will take them to the about us. So what you want to put, you can put this about us here. Make sure to change all this because it's not your domain that's there, right? So you could go through them. You could change the images as well. Now for this, I want you to cover this part, right? Because I don't want this. So what I'll do is I'll come to the top of this section here. Then I click on it. Then I'll come to advanced. Now advanced is where you have your layout. Now you can adjust the margin. Margin is how you can move forward, up or down, expand, padding, and all of that. So what we want to do is under the margin, we're going to give it minus, right? Minus 450, right? But another mistake I made was I did not check this, so it's going to affect everything on all fronts. So I'm just going to cancel this first of all, then uncheck this to. So I'm just only giving the top a minus, I'm so sorry, minus 450, right? So minus 450 here. Then I click on publish. Now once we come to this part, so front of the site here, now you're going to see that it covers everything, right? That part is gone. So basically that is how to edit each and every one of that part. So basically this applies to every page on your website. So if you go to About Us, it's the same thing there. You just want to open the About Us page, click on Edit with Elementor. You'll be able to change all of the text, the images, and every other thing. It's basic and it's simple. So we have other additional page that this provides you, like your sermon page. So you click on sermon here. This is where you're going to add like your preaching. You could add an audio for people to listen to. You could add like a video. So this here, so these are different sermon, right? Once you add them, they will come here. People can open each one. Let's say there's a preaching today. You have converted it from like video to text. You could add a written, add a video as well, add an audio as well. All you have to do is to embed it, right? So for that to happen, you want to come to where is written sermon. Right, if you click on sermon, you're going to find all the list of the sermons that are there. So sermon is more like preaching, right? It's the message that is shared, the gospel that is shared during a service or during a mass. So basically you're going to find all of them here. So you want to click on add new sermon here if you want to add a new one. Now you can see this one, there's a video, there's a text and the text, but there's no audio here. So for this, I'm going to open this here. You're going to give a title to your message. Like give a message title. You're going to write everything you want the message to be about, the description, the info, the content. Now if you want to add a video, you can add an image, then put a link. Right under the link, you could put your YouTube link here. So once person click it, it shows the video. It's that simple as well. Then that, I think that's it. You could add media. You could add media and add an image this way. So let me show you. Let's say we add this image, right? We can take it to the middle, then we can add a video to it and all of that. So the creativity is up to you. So just make sure to give a sermon image. This is the image that will appear at the front, then a tag, then you could add category, right? Maybe January, February, so people know the month depending on what you want. So that being said, so that is how to do all of that. So I've showed you 90% of this. Now I want us to go into the major process, adding the church management system. So for this, we will need a plugin, all right? And that plugin will come to add plugin here. So plugin, add new, then click on upload plugin. Now on the upload plugin, we're going to click on choose the plugin. Now this you'll come back here. Once you get this from me, you'll get all of this. So we have the church management. So we open this, then you're going to find the plugin here, this one. If you open it, you click on install. But now this can take forever because when you're uploading a plugin, this plugin is a heavy one. It's 150 MB. It can take forever to upload. So I'm going to show you a short way on how to achieve this. All right, so the way to go about it is simple, right? So first of all, I need you to access your cPanel. Again, once you access your cPanel, search for File Manager. So you click on File Manager here. Now this may take forever, but if you could go through this way and allow it to load and you have a good internet, you'll be able to achieve it. But I would prefer this way. It's way easier for me. When you go to File Manager, I want you to navigate to where you have public_HTML. This is where your domain is, right? So you're going to open here and you're going to go to WP contents, right? Now if you're using a subdomain, just make sure to open your subdomain. You're going to see WP content, then you have plugin here. Now this is where you're going to upload your scripts. You upload that plugin, right? We're going to be using. So for me, I'm making use of an extension domain. This is my domain, additional domain, right? So I'm going to come to WP content, the same, then plugins. Then I'm going to use the upload option here. Then you click on select. Then I will look for the plugin. This is the plugin church management. Then we'll start installing. So it's up to 107. So this way it's upload faster and easier for me. So I'm just going to wait for this to load up fully, then we'll continue. Okay, so this one has installed fully. You could see, it has uploaded fully. So you can see it's green, right? So just click on go back here. And once we do that, all right, so once we do that, you could just scroll down. You're going to see the church management. So you need to right click and click on extract, then we extract the file. Just hold on. Okay, so we're going to click on close. Now we can refresh this, just reload here. you're going to see the church call, your church management here. Okay, so we can close this cPanel, this file manager. We could close it totally. Just come back to your site here. Remember, we're not using this. So what we want to do is just click on, just locate plugins. So just click on the plugins here. All right, so basically what you want to do, you can see the church management you just installed, so you're going to activate it here. All right, so now that that's been activated, we'll go to the church management. Now this is where you're going to be making like a whole lot of changes. I'm going to show you how to walk you through this process, so I want you to really focus here. After this, we'll finalize everything and you have your site. Lastly, before we finalize, we'll talk about the header and the footer, but before we do that, we need to register a member, log into an account, see how everything works and all. So just follow me through the process. So when you come to church management system, what you want is you're going to see church management here. So click on it at the top. All right, so once you're here, what you want to do is we're going to start from the basics. So you're going to click on general settings. Now this, you notice, has its own dashboard, different from the WordPress dashboard, which is a good thing actually. So now we have to start with like the general settings, right? So when we come to general settings, that's this one here. All right, so here you're going to change the name, right? From this, I'm going to call it, the name of my church is Tram Jikoyi. When did the church start? You're going to put the date. I'm going to put 2000, right? So you put your address for your church, phone number, you put it here, the location of your church, the church email address, then your church logo. Now for your church logo, you want to make sure, so you remember the way I told you how to put the logo for the main site, right? So this is 19 by 190 by 56. Make sure you're using this site size, right? Then the icon, you can use a general thing for your icon. Then you can change this to your logo, church logo color, right? So it's the same thing. You click on upload image, you upload your image. If the image is already there, if you want to use that the same logo, you can select it, then you use it. For instance, let's say I want to use the same logo we have here, right? This church logo. So I'm going to just pick it here, then upload. Then once I do that, for your PayPal, put an email address here. If you don't have a PayPal, just put in a random email and click on save here. Now once you save, you notice the logo doesn't appear. So what you want to do is, if you're using a Windows laptop, hold down shift and press F5. Now this will give it a hard refresh, right? But if you're using another laptop that is not Windows and the shift F5 doesn't work, you just want to clear your browsing cache and it will show up. So now you can see it, right? So it has appeared. So when you do that, you're done with your general settings. You could still come to settings again. You're going to see your access right. This is important. So this part is, you're going to be given what each person can do, what a member can do. A member should be able to see the data view, but they will not be able to add new members. They will not be able to edit. They will not be able to delete other members. When family members will be able to add more family members, but they will not be able to edit or delete. So you could just go through this and choose what. So the same with accountants, family members, management. You just choose what they can be able to do and what they can't be able to do. So that's what you want to do. So what else should I go through? Now, email templates. Now, one of the disadvantage of this script is that you cannot really turn off each email, right? You just have to edit the template. So when a member is approved by the admin, this is the email that is sent. This is the email that is sent. Hello. Then this is the member name. You've been successfully registered. You could change all of this. Then we have what we call short codes. Now, short codes are, they used to represent things. So hello. Then this is the short code here, is for the member name, right? So you could just come here, you can see member name, this is the short code, the church name, this is the short code. You could delete all of these, rewrite. So let's say hello member. So any member that will get this email to be their name that will appear here, right? So you could write everything and or you can change it, you could edit each, right? The next part is your email templates. I think we just talked about this here. So we have your newsletter, right? For SMS, we have SMS option, but I don't want to touch this because when it comes to SMS, it's cost. You got to there's a cost to it, and SMS are usually very costly. So you want to check that. So there are two options. We have GSM 91 and ClickTail. These are all international SMS platforms. So if you can pay for that, it's easy. You just get these authentications. But I want to focus on email. So we're going to go to newsletter. Now for newsletter, we're making use of MailChimp, right? So just do have to open an account. So I've gone ahead to open an account on MailChimp. Now what you are looking for is to get your MailChimp API key. So what I normally do is to usually just come to Google. I'm telling you what you would do, which is an easy step. Anytime you face something like this, and just search for something like how to get my MailChimp API key, then you get a detailed instruction. But first of all, you need to open an account. It's easy to open an account. There's a free account they offer. You pay $0. You have up to 200. You'll be able to send up to 250 email daily, and you also be able to save up to 500 contacts. Now if you want to have more contacts, you have to pay for that. Now that being said, this is the instruction to get your listing. So it says click on the profile icon. So we'll come here and we'll click on our profile icon here, and the next step says on the right, okay, click on the profile icon, then select account and billing. So we're going to select account and billing here. So it's manual navigation, so it's account and billing. Then click the extract drop down option on the navigation bar and choose API key. So extra, this is it, API keys. You see how I'm just following this step? It's pretty easy. Anybody can do this. So now you can see it here. So your API key we don't have, so I'm going to click on create a key. Now we're going to call this key Treb, which is the name of my church, and click on generate key. So I'm going to close my key so you don't see it basically. So I'm going to use this key, then I'll paste it here. Then click on save, and that's it, and we'll be able to send email using this. So all email for registration should be able to work with this, right? Now after that has been done, we've done the settings. So now let me walk you through the dashboard. Under the dashboard we have users. Now users, you can add members, church members, like you can add family members, you can have accountants, you can add groups, you could add ministries, right? So we're going to do that. Then we have services. On the services, let me just close this. So on the services, here we have service, like a Sunday service, Tuesday service. We have pastoral. Then we have attendance. Here you can see your attendance activities, your ministry attendance. That is the different ministry arms, the attendance. You could see the activities that you have, worship, payment, report, notification, and all of that. So all of this is for you to run the way your church works basically. So what I'm going to focus on first of all is to just add a member. So I'm going to come to user and click on members here. Now I'm going to click on before we click on members, we need to set up a few things, right? So first of all, let's set up I think let me check. So let's set up ministry first. Okay, so first of all, ministry, you're going to click on this add icon here. So we're going to call this ministry media, right? And if there's an image, we'll add it, but I'm just going to click on add ministry. I'm just going to add one for the testing purpose, right? Then we have 0 members on that ministry. The next thing is let me see, family members, accountant, groups. So we're going to add groups. Now ministries are different from groups. So ministry in churches are usually the service like media, usher, greeters, and the likes, right? Then when we talk about groups, we're talking about the main group, the women group, the likes of that. So I'm just going to create a group, children, youth, and all. So I'm going to call this women. Right, usually churches have like a name they call these groups. Now that has been added. Then you could add a service depending on what you want, right? So let's go just to add members. Let's go to click on members. Right now we're going to click on add. Now we have an ID already, so we're just going to call this member Obi Matthew Brown. Then we're going to say male. We're going to give a date of birth, so we're going to choose January here. You can just pick 1983. We're just going to pick a random date, so select ministry media group. We're going to select women, occupation. So now anyone you see this red star, it means it's compulsory, so we're going to pick only the compulsory stuff, right? I'm going to pick the only compulsory stuff. Currently code is 23. Okay, so it's plus 234. Then I joined the church in 2017. Just pick a random date. Got baptized in 2021. Random date. Then your email here is important. Your username. So call this Brown. Password. All right, so when that's done, click on add member. All right, so this member has been successfully added. All right, so we've been able to create a user account and a member account. You could do it to create every other, add more members to your church and all of that. So lastly, we are just going to test a few things before we wrap up. And if you have any questions, leave it in the comments and just go through this, explore, learn. It's easy. Yeah, you can add sermon list, spiritual gift, and also there are two ways to add sermon. Now, sermons that are added here don't really show on the front end. So the front end is basically I'll advise you to just add anything you want to add directly on the front end when it comes to sermon and all of this. So people will still pay pledges from their account and all of that. So I'm going to show you how to logging into all of this, right? So first of all, before we start logging in users, let me show you how you could add the registration button here at the front end of your site, and also add a login button here, so people can always come here and log into their dashboard, check their attendance and the likes, and people could also register directly on the platform if you don't want to be manually registering everybody. Okay, so for that, what we want to do is to come here. We'll start with the registration and click on go back to WP admin. All right, so once you're here, I want you to first come to this place called header and footer. Open it up. Now basically, remember what I told you. Let me open this front end here and cancel this. So remember what I told you about the header and the footer, right? What the header is, where the footer is, and that we're going to edit it towards the end of the video. So this is what we are doing right now. Okay, so once you come here, you're going to see this header inner. So we have header home 1. So we're going to edit this one, this header on 1, right? So this is the footer, like I said, and the header is on top. So come here, see this home 1 header. We're going to click on edit with Elementor. So right click and open a new tab. Then we'll also find footer, right? So footer, so basically you could edit all the footer. I don't know the actual one we're using, so we're just going to click on edit with Elementor for the main footer. Yeah, so open it up as well. So this will take some time, so let's just speed up this process. Now, so we have both here. So this is the header. We'll come back to this. I want you to pause on that. This is still loading. Before that, I want you to come to, we're going to do two things, so follow very well, follow this very well. This is the last part. Okay, so first on pages, you're going to see all page, right click and opening a new tab. You're going to be opening all the pages. Then the next thing is, I want you to scroll down. You're going to see appearance, then you see this option called menu here. So click on it to open it. Now I want you to come to this main side of the site, push it here, so I should be close to these all pages and close to the menus that we open up. So this now if you come here at the front end of the site, you notice there's like home 1, home 2, all of these. Then there's still these extra pages and all. So we're going to clean this up first of all. So once we come here, you're going to see that under this. So what you want to do is first come here, you're going to see remove. You remove this, then click on bulk action. So we're going to just check this, check this, check this. Now if for instance you don't like, let me give you something before we go. If for instance you don't like this home here, this particular one, you don't like the design, you want something different, you could go to home 3, right? Click on it. It just gives you a different view, right? These are what we call demo content. You could use any of these options. Now see how this home looks. This looks this way, right? Then, or you could use home 2, home 3, anyone that fits you, but I'm going with home 1, right? That's what we're going with. Now I'm going to show you how we can make any of this home the first page that comes to your website. Now if you go to our website link, you're going to see just this page, but let's say you decide to use home 2 or home 3 or home 4. I'm going to show you so that when people come to your website, that's what they see. For that to happen, we are going to do something else. I know I'm going to do a lot, so just follow me. So come to settings here, then you see this option called reading, right? So I'm going to open a new tab. Reading, so that we don't get distracted. This is something very short. Now on that home page, you're going to see home 1. What you want to do is, if you want to make your home 2 the main page, you just put it home 2, then come here and save changes, and that's it. Anytime somebody goes to your site, that's the page they'll see. So I'm going to cancel this. Now back to our menus. So remember we say bulk option. So you come here, you're going to select all this page we don't need. So we don't need all of these. We don't need these pages. So if you want any of these pages at the front of your website, you could do well to just leave them. I can leave this salmon. Then I want the blog, and I want the contact us. So this remaining one, I'm going to click on remove selected items. Then this is what we have here. We're going to do box select. I'm going to remove salmon details, campaign. So I'll click on remove selected items. This is what I want. Then this home that is written home 1, we're going to just delete the number and click on save changes. So now once the change has been implemented, right, just come to the front here and refresh this. Now we have it. If you notice, all of those things are gone. The next thing is to add the registration page. So remember the page I told you should open a new tab? Yes. So what we want to do is scroll down and click on this, right? Take you to the next page for this. Then you're going to look for something, this thing called member registration, right? You click on view, right, to just open it up. Now this will allow people to register on your church platform. All right, they can register by themselves. Now once then you come to the menus here. Sorry, remember when I did it, I copied the link at the top. I forgot to say it. I copied the link, so let me just show you again. You come to membership registration or members registration. You can click on right click and just open new tab. Then you copy this link, right? It's important, so I'm going to cancel this. Then you come to menus on this tab here, then scroll down. You're going to see custom link, so paste that link here. Then under the link title, we're going to call it register, then add to menu. Now it's added. You click on save. Now that's been successfully saved. If you come to the front of our site, we refresh this. Here we go, we have the registration. So once somebody click on registration, they'll be able to register as a member, or you can manually register them. Now the last part is, I don't want to have a donate button. I just want to have a login so people can log in. And for that, I'm going to show you how you could do that using this part here. Now I'm going to show you how to do that here. Okay, so for us to do that, so what we want to do is, I need to close some few things. I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this part as well. I'm going to close this. Open many pages. So this, I'm going to leave this page, right? The page is where we have pages, right? Then this part's where we have to edit our home, right? So what you want to do is to come here, click on this, just click on anything here. Then this, you could change your logo, right? Then don't add anything here. You're going to see the right bar, click on it. You're going to see this part where it donates. Now you can change it to log in now, right? Then for this link, I want you to come here on that page, and you're going to see, so we have membership registration, but I want you to go to let's go back to page 1. You're going to see this button, this place called church management login. So you're going to click on view, open it here. Then this is the link you're going to copy, right? Just copy this link, but let it open up. Let me just show you how it looks. Now we scroll down. Okay, so I'm already logged in, so just leave this, but just pick that link we're going to test everything. No, don't worry about this. So come here, paste that link here, that login link here, paste it here, then just click on publish. Now come back to the front, so footer. Now for the footer, you could still change. You see, you could change anything here. You see, change this. Now you want to make sure that what you're putting here is your website URL. So I'm just going to clean this and just put my website, just the website. Now on the logo, make sure that it's your website URL that is there. So I think for this one as well, yeah, I think this is it. So the logo, come here. Okay, this logo does not have a link, so just leave it like that. So for the footer, back to the footer, where do we have the footer? Okay, so this is it. So you could change your hours, change the working day. Just select, open this up. You're going to find all the text. This, you could come, put anything. So for this one, you want to put for the homepage, this is home, about us, sermon, event, blog, ministry, themes, and all of this stuff. Now how they did it is simple. So let me come to, so this is the front end of our site. I know I've showed you how to do something like this. Now remember, you have to change this link. So here you have church.wp, which is not your website link. So you want to come here and you have the first link here, which is the first page, which is your home. So you're going to copy this link. We come here on the place where you have home, put it here. The second is about us. You locate your about us, you open it up, you copy the link as well. You come here, open this up, change this, delete this, then put it here. So you do that for everything. Now if you don't want all of this, right, like me, you just right click on this, then you could decide to delete, right? Or you could leave it and just change the name to something else. Yeah, you can put your email, your contact, and all. So that is everything you need to do, or you need to know. So we could change this. Come here, we change this place with events, we change it to login. Then where did I drop that login link? So I'm going to copy it here, then come down, scroll down, put the login link. Now I'm just going to publish this. Then this right reserve, you could change it as well, put your church name and all of this stuff and all of this stuff. So it's all to you. So now we come to the front end of your site. So you're going to refresh this. Now this is something I want you to take note of very well. If you see that after the change we made to the front, to the heading, he did not change, what this means is that the heading we edited, that's this one currently, is not what was used. So I'm just going to close this footer. It's not what was used here. Well, let's scroll down to the footer. Did anything change here? It was deleted. So that's the main footer they used. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back to this header footer again, and I'm going to find the right one. After we find the right one, we wrap up and I say thank you. We're just going to test the system and say thank you. So I'll find the right one and tell you the one you're going to edit, and that's it. Okay, so I've done it. Basically it's this first one, not the second one, not this home one, it's this one. That's the correct one. So I've done it. You could see the login, it's here, the registration is here, everything is perfectly fine. So congratulations, you've built this. Now the last part is we're going to test this out. Remember I created a user account, so what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to open a new email and I'm going to use this. Then we are going to our website. So I'm just going to copy this so you can see that I'm doing everything is live, so everything works. So I'm just going to come here. Now this accept cookies, you can see. So let the site load fully. Okay, you can see everything works well, right? Now I'm going to come to not registration. We'll click on login here. Now it's take me to our login page. So scroll down. Yeah, we're going to put in our email address and we're going to put in the password. Then you can check the remind me, then click on login, and voila, this is your members dashboard. Yeah, they can see, save, okay, they could donate, they could make payments, see all their income, transaction reports, notification, account. They could see the activities, if there's any current activity in the church. They could see the services and all of this stuff. So this is it, and this has been a really nice one. Please, I beg you, if you've not subscribed, do well to subscribe. If you need this, just do well to reach out to me, and we'll try to see how we can talk about it. All right, my name is Matthew Brown. This is Ziflite Studio. If this has been helpful, don't forget to like, share, comment, hit on the subscribe bell. That's the subscribe button. Please share and keep following us. We release massive and good content like this. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.